Iowa State. And we are underway with Estelle Czech getting the start in the circle. Czech yet to allow more than 2 earned runs in a game this entire season.
Well, Estelle Czech has been mainly relief for Texas, getting just her 5th start of the season tonight. It is her senior night. Each senior gets their own individual game and midweek game for all of them. So hers is tonight, just ahead of actual senior weekend when they will bid adieu to the quartet of seniors.
Hard to believe the final series of the regular season, at least the final home series, will take place this weekend. Texas comes in tonight 38-6 on the year. 19-2 at home as Scott scoops that one up off the bat of Claire Cisco. Texas ranked #1 in the nation now for the 3rd consecutive week. Run rule victories, just phenomenal numbers all season long for the Longhorns. And quickly, 2 away, Heflin retired. Nicholls led by Justin Lewis, who is part of Kristen Zaleski's coaching staff a few years back at A&M Corpus Christi. He's done a tremendous job at Southland Coach of the Year a season ago. They are currently tied for 3rd in the conference.
Well, tied for 3rd with Incarnate Word, who actually they're going to finish the drive down 35 after the game tonight. Head to San Antonio. They play Incarnate Word tomorrow and Saturday. Try to leave there with that 3rd place standing intact.
Nicholls was picked to finish dead last in the Southland a year ago. They ended up surprising everybody, coming in 3rd. This is a really young team, 16 underclassmen. It's just about 70% of the roster.
Well, and Coach Lewis talked about being excited when he no longer says we're a young team, we're a young lineup, being able to have the experience of juniors and seniors that have been under him. But he did. He mentioned that they were picked dead last. He made a schedule last year that it was a little easier. He wanted to build confidence, get them winning, get them confident not just in themselves individually, but as a team. He said this year he scheduled a little tougher. He said at the end of the day, I look at it, it might have been a little bit too tough, but hey, we're taking it on and they're all learning.
This one skied to right field. Ashton Maloney is there in a 1-2-3 inning. Worked by
to throw strikes. She's a great 2-strike hitter. Everything you want in your leadoff.
Take strike 1 from Avery Payton, the sophomore out of Summit, Mississippi, 6-3 on the year.
Payton not going to be an overpowering pitcher. Going to use a lot of off speed, and the big thing Coach Lewis talks about is she's not afraid to use that curveball to right-handed hitters, so trying to get inside to hitters. Right now using it against Ashton Maloney, lefty on lefty. That curveball, usually a left-handed pitcher's best friend against a left-handed hitter.
You talk about a tear Maloney's been on over the last month and a half. She's been one of the best hitters in the entire country. As she awaits the 1-2. Checked over to short, bobbled momentarily, and that allows Maloney to be safe at first. Second half of the year has just consistently gotten on base for the Longhorns and does so here.
Well, it's her speed that always is able to produce for the Longhorns. She soft slaps this just to shortstop, but you see it roll up the arm of Guazda there. And any type of hesitation, Ashton Maloney is going to be able to be safe with the speed she has.
Here's Mia Scott, who always has a hitting streak of some sort going, comes into this one with a 9-game hitting streak. Lays down the bunt. Payton twirls around, gets Scott as Maloney advances to second. So 1 away now for Vivi Martinez, who has reached in 10 of her last 11 and putting up numbers very similar to a year ago. Hit .346 last season, that average seating at .350 right now.
Vivi Martinez got hot right at the right time for Texas as well. That weekend that OU was coming into Austin, Vivi Martinez really turned it on, was a part of every run-scoring play Texas had in that series, and hasn't really looked back. She hasn't cooled off since the Sooners came in town, and was a little bit up and down throughout the first part of season, just trying to see her pitches and stick to her plan. Able to execute against Oklahoma, and that confidence has really paid off.
Sends one to left field. That'll drop in there. Maloney racing around third. There will be no throw home, and Texas jumps out to the 1-0 lead here in the first.
Well, Martinez, knowing that Payton's going to go away, expecting it, goes with this outside pitch right at Heflin, who goes ahead and makes the throw in, but Guazda holding on to the ball just a little bit too long, and Vivi Martinez taking the extra 60 feet.
That is Martinez's team-leading 10th double of the year. And here is Reese Atwood. As Kat mentioned a moment ago, been on quite a tear over the last 5 games, 3 homers and 11 RBIs. She's currently 2 RBIs shy of the national leader, Jenna Golombowski of Miami of Ohio. I mean, if you would have told Mike White, who recruited her mainly on the reputation of being an elite defensive catcher, that 2 years into her career she may put up one of the greatest seasons in Texas history, they would have been absolutely thrilled. She reaches yet again Texas with runners on the corners.
Well, sole possession of that RBI record is going to have to hold off for at least one more at bat. Reese Atwood fists that one into center field, but not deep enough for Vivi Martinez to be on the move home.
Here's Katie Stewart, the freshman. She's reached to 9 straight. Texas with 2 singles and a double so far to begin the night. And immediately that will send the catcher Songy out to talk to Payton. One thing that gets overlooked sometimes is Katie Stewart's patience. I mean, for a freshman, she's on pace to have the most walks by a Texas player in nearly a decade. She's got 28 heading into this at bat.
Well, and that patience from a freshman is so impressive, because a lot of times freshmen get jumpy and are trying to prove they should be in a lineup by how they hit and forcing hits to happen.
Lifts one to deep left field, drifting back is Heflin, and this one is gone. Home run number 7 on the year for Katie Stewart. Just like that, the Horns up by 4.
Well, the talk is always about Reese Atwood, but pitchers have to pitch to Reese Atwood because of what Katie Stewart can do behind her. Katie Stewart absolutely loves hitting here at McCombs. That home run, a no-doubter out there in left field. The fans just love it. But as a 3 or a 4-5 combo for Texas, Reese Atwood and Katie Stewart are as good as they come.
What a start for Texas's offense. A home run, a double, a couple of singles. See what Alyssa Washington does here. A captain who's already set new career highs in home runs and stolen bases, and well on her way in that department in batting average as well.
Well, the success of Texas, Alex, has rested mainly on the offense. Don't get me wrong, they have an extremely deep pitching staff that has held opponents to low-scoring games as well. But you're talking about a career year for Reese Atwood, who's going to write record books by the end of this, and then a career year for Alyssa Washington. Sandwich that with Vivi Martinez continuing what she did as a freshman, and then Katie Stewart, as we just mentioned, being patient and having the power as a freshman. There's no hole in this lineup with the way everyone's producing.
They're averaging about 7.5 runs per game, as that one roped foul. Texas number 6 in the nation in scoring, number 2 in the country in batting average. And by the way, top 5 as well in ERA. 2-2 to Washington. There's another hit for Texas here in the first inning. All right, the pressure's on now for Katie Simmons to continue this tear. 4 straight Texas batters have gotten a hit off Payton, and here's Simmons, who's worked her way back into the starting lineup a little bit more as of late. Started a game in that Baylor series. Then last Saturday against Kansas, came off the bench, delivered a pinch hit home run. They gave her a start the next day, and she went yard again.
Well, it's one of those. Katie Simmons has been very mature in the fact that her role has been as a pinch hitter, trying to make the most of the opportunities when she's given them, and she has. And then, as Coach White talked to us this week, said we're rewarding her. She's able to produce when we put her in, so we want to continue to keep her in the lineup when she's hot.
Pops up there, which brings up Caden Henry, who just a few hours ago was named a top 25 finalist for National Freshman of the Year, along with Texas pitcher Tegan Cavan.
Well, fun fact, the duo are actually roommates as well, so able to iron sharpen iron there a little bit. Continue to probably talk about the games when they get home and what each one of them can do better.
Lays down the bunt with that speed, tough to beat out. 2 aboard.
The one area of concern for Coach Mike White was the short game. He didn't feel like Texas has been executing their bunts as well. He wanted to see that tonight, and so far a sac bunt from Mia Scott. Now a base hit from Caden Henry using the short game. Texas at it early.
In the 9th spot, it's Bella Dayton, who's reached in 7 of her last 8 games and takes a first pitch strike from Payton. We asked Mike White kind of what went through her mind when he decided to bump her down to the 9th spot after leading off for most of the year. He said, nah, she's a team player through and through. And obviously we know how competitive she is, but we'll do whatever it takes anywhere in the lineup for the squad.
Well, I think at some point in her career in Burnt Orange, she's probably been almost every spot in the lineup. We've seen her lead off. That first year she was with Texas, she got anywhere in 2, 3, 4 sometimes. This year, using a little bit more short game than swinging away. She's been in bottom half, and then, as you mentioned, leading off as well. So don't think it phases her, no matter where. As long as her name's in the lineup, doesn't phase her as to what part of the lineup she's in.
That's a player that just oozes confidence. So you have to feel, if you're her teammates and you're going into the postseason in a big game, you're feeling good knowing she's on your squad.
There's confidence, there's an intensity, there's just a competitiveness that you see from her every time she's at the plate, every time she's making a defensive play.
Deep left down the line. That is off the glove of Heflin in fair territory. That's going to bring in 2 more as Dayton slides into 3rd. Texas pouring it on here in the first inning.
Bella Dayton takes an outside pitch under it just a little bit that gives Heflin a chance at catching this, but Heflin has to run a long way down there off her glove into the corner. Bella Dayton, with her speed, the second it gets into the corner, knows that it's one thing you can't do against potent offenses is give them more than 3 outs an inning.
Here is Maloney. Texas with 6 runs off 7 hits here in the opening frame, undefeated on the year when scoring first at 30-0. Chops one over the head of the pitcher, and that one finds its way to center field as Dayton scores. 7-0 Horns.
Well, you can tell Texas is just ready for Payton. Ashton Maloney hammering this outside pitch in the ground over the pitcher. Easy scoring for Bella Dayton, but Texas is ready for the curveball that she's offering, and as we saw from Melissa Washington's single, the changeup as well. She was patient and able to drive that to center field.
Mia Scott grounded out a few minutes ago in her first at bat. Over to second. The toss to second, and that brings Stelchek back in the circle. I mentioned one of the seniors being honored tonight. On Saturday, they will officially have their senior day, senior night. Whitaker, Dayton, Washington, and Czech being honored as this one lifted over to second. One away.
Well, it worked out. They had one midweek, 4 midweeks this season, so one for each one of their seniors to be able to give them their own day. But Estelle Czech right now working an absolute magnificent performance so far early in the game, but attacking the strike zone. First inning was only 3 minutes for Texas out on defense.
A 10-pitch inning. Here is Abby Anderson. A fascinating story. She spent her first few seasons as a pitcher at Arizona State, but then decided to step away from the game for a couple of years. Went to nursing school. And for the sake of time, we'll abbreviate that story. Came back as a hitter, not a pitcher, and comes through there with the base knock. She has been a nice addition over the past couple of seasons for Justin Lewis.
Well, Justin Lewis has been in his own right in various different places. Arizona State for a little bit, Fresno State. Talked about, being in the mix, recruiting Abby Anderson when he was at Fresno State, and then being able to have that tie and see if she wanted to go ahead and come finish out her softball career with him at Nicholls.
And a solid hitter for them, as has Gabby Higbee, tied for the team lead in home runs. She thought she may have come up with the biggest hit of the season back in February. She hit a solo home run in the top of the 7th inning that put Nicholls ahead of Florida State, who was ranked number 11 at the time. Remember, Nicholls led that game 4-3 heading to the bottom of the 7th inning, but Florida State scored twice to rally and win it 5-4.
Well, those are the games that Coach Justin Lewis wants to put his team in, but not too often. But was really proud of the way his team performed in that one.
And taken down near Florida State, nearly took him down. That would have been absolutely huge. But again, look at the turnaround compared to his first season to his second. A 17-win improvement. Second largest in all of D1. On pace for another good year this season. But the single by Anderson, super regional, whether it's further on down to the Women's College World Series. I mean, this team is absolutely loaded.
Well, they're loaded and they're deep, and I think that's where the offensive numbers, especially in the D1 ranks, come, is the fact we mentioned it. Katie Simis in the lineup because she's been producing. Jolie Mitchell, who was hitting well over 400 for a while, was in the lineup. When Texas has somebody that starts to slump, they have somebody who can come in and be able to get the job done. And that's just what allows your offense to stay consistent and put up those numbers. But you couple that with their pitching staff, it's going to be really hard to beat them 2 out of 3.
Vivi Martinez to deep left field, and the wind, we have seen it all season long, giving outfielders a bit of trouble. Heflin was able to hang on.
Yeah, Heflin having to switch her feet and her angle on that ball just a little bit, but enough lift on that for her to be able to easily wrangle it in.
So here is Reese Atwood, tied for the most RBIs in Texas history in a single season. Mike White told us she was complaining, Coach, you never let me swing on the 3-0 count. I mean, have you seen my season? He said, that's because you never let it go to a 3-0 count. But go ahead, if it comes up, why not?
I can't remember which game we did, but there was a point, Alex, I think I told you, she had only gotten to 1 full count the whole season at that point. She doesn't get deep in the count a whole lot, likes to hit early in the count.
As you can see.
As we see here, we're 0-2, although 0-1 was not a full swing. She did get a foul ball and a high pitch up and in that kind of check swung, but she does like attack early, so she doesn't get too deep in the hole. I don't know that I can recall too many times that she's really been 3-0 unless they're really pitching around her.
Behind 0-2 here. I mean, she's just all over the record books besides the ones we've already mentioned. Don't forget, she set the Texas record of 8 straight games with an RBI last year, tied it again this year. First Texas player with 3 straight walk-off hits.
Well, and so many of those records are about opportunity. You're not always in an RBI situation in 8 straight games, so that goes to the hitters ahead of you being able to get on. 3 walk-off wins or 3 walk-off hits in a row. You have to be the person up in that situation 3 times. So many opportunities for Reese Atwood to not just prevail, but to build her confidence already in such a young career. I mean, talk about the numbers she puts up. She's only a sophomore.
Came in as a top 5 recruit in the nation. Hey, there's a full count.
It's like we talked about her not going deep in the count.
There's
And
your
here we are.
3-ball
We
count.
face full count. Being very patient after being down 0-2.
It's a little quiet here tonight, so she may have heard you as that one chopped over to third. Kraus is there. 2 away.
Tip your hat to Peyton after going through the lineup, the entire lineup in the first inning. Made quick work of Vivi Martinez and an easy out there for Kraus at third base. But it's the slugger Katie Stewart who she has to get through next.
Just over the left field fence to break this one open. But Avery Payton responds by working a 1-2-3 inning. Still a 7-run game.
Have been strikes, just 2 balls so far in the first 2 innings.
Brinsongi to left field. On the run, Bella Dayton.
Well, Alex, we talked about Texas offense. We've talked about their pitching, and Bella Dayton wants to say, hey, what about our defense? Because we make some significant plays and some magnificent ones. This ball, line drive, hit down the line, but Bella Dayton, quick beat on that. Texas outfield so fast.
The best defensive outfield we've seen from a Texas team since, it's hard to remember.
I don't know that there has ever been a Texas team that has had this much speed in the outfield. I mean, you're talking about all 3 of them use short game to get on base quite a bit. And then you don't miss a beat if they ever put Mia Scott out there. So it's a depth of an outfield that just has a lot of speed to be able to track balls. And Bella Dayton does a great job of reading balls, and her first step is always quick, right, gets her in line to make a great play.
I mean, she was already a good center fielder. You put that speed in left, and as we saw, she can cover so much ground. 1 away now for Sam Guazda. One of the few seniors on this team who's battled back from numerous injuries. A couple of elbow surgeries a year ago. As sends this one into foul territory, and on the run is Alyssa Washington. 2 away. Defense is contagious.
Well, Stelchek still throwing strikes. This one, Guazda gets under it. Alyssa Washington in the 3-man chase over there calls him off, able to secure the second out.
Claire Cisco swinging away. He's a phenomenal center fielder for them last year, starting every game in center. In fact, Justin Lewis nominated her for a Gold Glove, but this year, different story. They didn't have a single second baseman who could play, so they moved her over there. She's done well, but pops this one up. But such a good year. You have a big weekend of conference play coming up. As for tonight's matchup, what do you tell your team dealing with this deficit here and trying to settle things down?
Well, at this point, the talk is like, let's try to win the rest of the game, right? And have something to build on for the weekend. You just can't. We give them 6 outs the first inning, right? And that kind of sets the tone. Shortstop doesn't make the first play. Left fielder's timid and doesn't. I mean, she's an excellent shortstop. She's an excellent left fielder, and they don't make those plays. And it just sets the tone for the inning. So you can't give anybody 6 outs in any, much less the #1 team in the nation. So,
Coach, what was the conversation with Peyton when she came in? Obviously, first inning to second inning was rather drastically different.
nah, she was. If we make those plays, they don't score any runs, right? And so I just told her, hey, I love you, support you. You did your job. Team let you down. So here we go.
Appreciate it, Coach.
All right,
Thank
y'all
you.
be good.
Justin Lewis, he's had a fascinating career path. He spent 9 years as a firefighter out of the game, at least collegiately, while being a firefighter. He was a private hitting instructor on the side, and decided to get back into coaching after all that time. As Peyton hits Washington. As we mentioned earlier, he was a part of Kristen Zaleski's staff, the Texas assistant coach, back when they were together at A&M Corpus Christi.
Yeah, I got the opportunity first, met Justin Lewis when he was actually at Texas A&M Kingsville.
Yeah.
He was an assistant there, and I was an assistant at St. Edward's University and then Texas State University, and we played them in a couple times. And I remember having a conversation with him after one of the games because Kingsville's hitting had really turned around, and obviously he was in charge of that. So he's made a name for himself. He was here in the state of Texas for a while, and then Nicholls hired him, and as we showed, I mean, he's made such an impact there. But I also, when we talk to him, I like to hear how he takes different pieces of knowledge from all of his different walks of life that he's been able to experience, and he imparts those on the girls as much as he can.
Well, he said his first day on the job with Kingsville, he shows up. It's right in the middle of Hurricane Harvey. He said, what is this? He came from Arizona. Is that one snared by Peyton? The throw to first in time, and they double up Texas. Washington got caught.
Well, Peyton absolutely robs Katie Simmons. This is a hard shot up the middle. No shot that she actually saw that. That was all instinct, but able to remain cool enough to go ahead and make the throw over to first. Alyssa Washington breaking hard. You heard how hard the ball was off the bat, so you're going to take the break, and pitching coach heading out there to make sure Peyton's heart rate's back down to be able to pitch here.
What's the scariest part of dealing with those comebackers? Like you said, you have no time to react.
You don't have time, and you really don't see them. You don't see them clearly. It's like a blur, so it's sticking the glove out or getting your body out of the way, and your glove might instinctually head over there. But especially when they're up around your head, you're basically trying to duck and stick a glove at the same time.
That's a great play by Peyton in there. In the circle, it's the tale of a few different innings here. First inning for Texas, 7 runs off 8 hits. Last roughly 2 innings, no hits for Texas.
Well, and to Justin Lewis's point, we talked about the ground ball to Guazda at shortstop. It rolls up her arm, so Ashton Maloney gets a base hit. And I thought this too off the bat is when Vivi Martinez hit her double. That was a ball that I think if Heflin comes in, she can make a shoestring catch. And that was he was referring to. He thought she was timid and went backwards on it instead of coming in and trying to make a great play. If they make those 2 plays, that's a 3-up, 3-down first inning as well.
You wonder how much nerves played a part. You're playing the #1 team in the nation in their ballpark. Again, they gave Florida State all they could handle earlier this year. So they're an extremely competitive team, but in a big hole after that huge first inning for Texas. Payoff pitch to Caden Henry. Sends one to left field down the line. That one's going to stay fair, bounce off the wall on the track, and a 2-out double for the freshman.
Another outside pitch that a lefty for Texas is ready for. This off the end of the bat a little bit, given the high arc, but deep into left field. Easy stand-up double for Caden Henry. Another runner in scoring position for Texas.
9th double of the year. Here's Bella Dayton taking ball 1. Dayton had the 2-run triple back in the first inning. Her 4th triple of the year, just 1 behind Mia Scott. That's up among some of the most in the nation.
Well, Texas is a ballpark, both in the gaps with the speed that Bella Dayton has, plus down the line. If that ball rolls into the corner, Bella Dayton, Caden Henry, Mia Scott, Ashton Maloney, all almost have an automatic triple.
Backing up is Cisco. and makes the catch. Sliding right behind her was Anderson. Some acrobatics, but they keep Texas off the board. Still 7-0 after 3.
Stretch. Seems like we just started softball season.
And usually Texas ends the regular season at home, or at least part of that home series against Baylor. Not the case this year.
No, the Big 12 adding the 3 new teams.
Base knock by Reagan Heflin. She's going to race around first base. There's a leadoff double.
Well, as we mentioned, Heflin has been consistent for the Colonels. She's able to turn on this one. Ashton Maloney shading towards center field just a little bit, so that ball gets all the way to the wall. The Colonels with their first runner in scoring position tonight.
Here is Aaron Krause. And that one nearly pulled Simmons off, but she was able to hang on. Runner advances to third.
First baseman, number 9, Alexa.
And a cleanup hitter due up now, Alexa Poche. Senior out of New Orleans. His best hitter on the team a year ago. Still trying to get going here this season.
A lot of times there's pressure twofold when you're a senior. If your junior year is as stellar as it was for Poche, you're trying to recreate that, and you can't just recreate that. You have to stay steady and consistent with your mentality as well as your physical approach, and then you double that with being a senior and knowing you're looking at the end of your career. So you also put pressure on yourself to try to go out as great as you can, and again, you put that pressure and it doesn't allow you to play the way you play your best, which is free, relaxed, and confident.
Confident hit to center field, and Nicholls is on the board. RBI single for Alexa Poche.
Well, this is where Justin Lewis talks about winning the rest of the game, and Colonel's now putting pressure on Estelle Check. There's a curveball on the outside, but Poche just drives that to center field, not too flashy. That picks up the first RBI for the Colonels on the night.
Time called momentarily. Here we go. Play ready to resume. Abby Anderson with a single in the second inning. And there is a strike from Estelle Check. Anderson coming from a very athletic family. In fact, her brother Mason, pro golfer, just won the Argentina Open. She sends one to the gap in left center. That's going to drop in, and Nicholls starting to turn things around a little bit here in the top of the 4th inning. That's their 3rd hit of the inning against Czech.
Well, prior to this inning, Estelle Check was throwing a ton of strikes. She had literally only thrown 4 balls all game through the first 3 innings. The Colonels started getting aggressive early in the count. You see that by Abby Anderson there. That pitch elevated, and she's able to drive it into the left center gap. The fact that Check is so much around the strike zone now, Nicholls adjusting and being able to swing aggressively early in the count.
2 doubles in this inning. Off of Check, here comes Gabby Higbee. Tied for the team lead in home runs.
When Check has a decent off-speed pitch, it's something I think she should start mixing in a little bit earlier in the count to keep the Colonels a little more off balance.
That one jammed up Higbee. 2 away.
Designated player number 7, Molly.
2 in scoring position, 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Molly Vandenbout, who homered a couple of times against FSU earlier this season, chops one over to Scott. And that one off the glove of Simmons. Run number 2 on the night for Nicholls will come home.
Well, this is an easy ground ball. Jam job by Estelle Check. Mia Scott just unable to get a throw across at the chest of Simmons. That dying off. Simmons attempts the pick, but unable to come up with that one.
So the inning continues. Bryn Songi. Is it easy to lose focus when you start off like they did, 7 runs in the first, or is that not an excuse at all?
No.
Still down by 5. Here's Songi. Sending one down the line, and Bella Dayton is there. But Nicholls gets on the board, scoring twice, and Texas will take a 5-run lead. Maloney 2 for 2. Make it 3 for 3. Continues to have the hot bat in that leadoff spot.
Well, that's what Texas likes and wants from that leadoff spot, is just consistent pressure put on the defense, put on the pitcher. I'll go so far to say, Alex, that Ashton Maloney might be the most underrated player in the country when you talk about what she actually produces and how little I feel like her name is actually in conversations.
No, you go around the country and you ask national people who's the best hitter on Texas. I mean, they're going to go through a number of names before hers comes up. But consistently, even going back to last year, she's just been a great hitter. And batting average-wise, she certainly is their best hitter by a decent margin. Mia Scott is certainly not a bad hitter in her own right, to say the least. Sends one to left field. Heflin backing up, makes the grab on the track for out number 1. That wind is carrying out there.
Well, these lefties for Texas are just missing that curveball that Heflin's offering them. It's tailing away, and you see the spin of it is going to create pop-ups, and so they're just missing under it enough that it's staying in the park. But high fly balls deep in the park, probably, I'm not a hitter, but I would think a centimeter, half-inch difference, and those could be possibly leaving the yard.
See what Vivi Martinez does here after coming up with a run-scoring double in the first. She rips one to right center, off the base of the wall on the track. Here comes Ashton Maloney racing around third. And Texas back up to a 6-run lead. 8-2 in the fourth.
Well, this is what makes Vivi Martinez such a great hitter. Her first double of the game goes into the left center gap. This time she goes center field towards the right side of the outfield, able to drive that off the wall. The sophomore seeing it big, but continuing to be the spark plug for Texas in the middle of this order.
Martinez now with 2 RBI doubles.
Just a little bit behind here with this pitching change.
Just a bit high and inside as Martinez moves down to third, and that is the record-setting run potentially, Martinez, if Atwood can bring her home. That will set the new Texas single-season record for RBIs for the sophomore. Swing and a miss.
A nice backdoor curve there by Yo. She's going to work both sides of the plate, come into Reese Atwood, but that pitch looking like it's a ball about halfway, 2/3 of the way to the plate that cuts back to the corner.
Oh, that plunks her in the helmet.
First base, number 4, Adele Wallace. The batter, catcher, Katie Stewart.
Stewart hitting .339 here in her freshman campaign. 7 homers, 28 walks.
There, Yo gets ahead of the big hitter, but Katie Stewart loves hitting here at McCombs, hitting .426 on the year. 5 of her 7 home runs are here at McCombs, and 20 of her 28 RBIs, well, now 29 RBIs after her home run earlier, are here at home.
Those numbers look even better when you consider, all right, Texas set to host a regional if they advance. Barring something crazy happening, set to host a super regional as well. So she's going to have quite a few more games potentially in this ballpark this year.
Well, she is, and then you have to ride that momentum and figure out what is it that she does here at home that keeps her so engaged and so ready to play that she can take that on the road with you. But phenomenal numbers here at McCombs, and as a coaching staff, you'd like to see that on the road as well.
Adea Wallace is going. The throw cut off. Heading home is Vivi Martinez, and she's safe. 9-2 Longhorns.
Well, Dea Wallace takes off, and she's safe, but you see Cisco cut the throw off, but the throw continues to take her up or across the middle of the field, so she has to on the run throw. It's a bang play at home plate, since throw is not wide, but takes the catcher's glove away from Vivi Martinez. Coach Lewis gonna go ahead and call for the headset, see if they're challenged and if there's enough evidence to overturn that.
And if you're Justin Lewis at this point, makes sense. You're trying to stay out of potential run rule territory. Texas 1 away if this call stands. Oh, you could see Martinez's left foot bounce off the dirt. Comes up in the air there.
Well,
I think she may be out.
I think there's evidence to overturn that there.
And how about that? The challenge by Justin Lewis, one call overturned. Martinez out at home. So it remains a 6-run game. Count 1 and 2 now, 2 away. Wallace over at second.
Stewart taking a big hit hack there. Texas has only swung and missed twice tonight. They've been able to time up Nicholls and their pitching staff well.
One, 2 to Katie Stewart. Lifts one to center. Higbee makes the grab. Texas
start there, 7 runs in the first, and I think 7 or 8 straight hits, so that was really good, but we just kind of let down a little bit and momentum went the other way. So fortunately we came out and scored another run. That was good.
Coach, on the flip side, Czech obviously started off hot. Nicholls started to get to her a little bit. You're making the pitching change. Talk about Estelle Czech and then what you're looking for from Sophia Simpson.
Yeah, well, the plan was for Estelle to go 3 or 4 innings and just get some work in, and she was really efficient tonight, didn't throw very many pitches, and were able to kind of, I think she maybe threw too many strikes here in the end, so they started to get onto her, so it's a good time for a change and get Sophia out there.
I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you. Hook 'em.
Sophia Simpson. And there's this one with an ERA of .76 on the year. That's a full 2 runs lower than her career average. With 32 strikeouts in just over 18 innings of work. Facing the 9, 1, and 2 hitters. Here for Nicholls, who put up 2 runs in the last inning. A couple of doubles off Czech, a single as well. There's Sam Guazda.
The junior Sophia Simpson made a name for herself, obviously, in that Super Regional in 2022. Able to win Game 3 against Arkansas when Haley Dolcini was pretty much unusable for Texas at that point, having thrown every pitch of postseason for them.
That is the first walk of the night issued by Texas pitching.
Well, Simpson, known for her off-speed pitch, her changeup, it is devastating, but you have to be able to locate your hard pitches, drop ball, rise ball, curve screw, fastball even. before just offering up off speed, but Sam Guazda.
For Nicholls re-entering the game and now running at first base, number 19, Samantha Guazda.
Excuse me.
Guazda over at first. Back up to the top of the order we go. Here is Claire Cisco, 0 for 2. And there is a strike from Simpson.
There you see that off-speed pitch. That's her changeup. It is going to float in there. It's significantly slower than her hard stuff.
.223 career strikeouts for Simpson. In a little over 165 innings. And there's strike 2.
There's a good pitch in the low part of the zone. Inside to Cisco. Big thing for Simpson is to show that she can locate both her hard pitches and her changeup in the zone, so that way the offense can't sit just for one pitch. When you're only able to locate your off-speed pitch, they can sit back. They don't have to respect your hard stuff as much. So right now, Simpson trying to find that groove with her hard stuff.
Dayton chasing that one and hangs on! What a grab by Bella Dayton!
Well, the senior, you talk about her intensity and competitiveness, Alex. She holds on to this as she slides into the wall. All out for Bella Dayton to go ahead and record the first out here in the 5th.
In dramatic fashion, that is a sensational grab by Dayton. Her second of the night.
Well, why Dayton was making that grab, sliding, Guazda heads up base running, go ahead and tag with the ball in foul territory. She's now in scoring position.
You get feeling like that from Texas and Dayton, and the Longhorns tough to beat against any opponent. 2-0 as the runner advances to third.
Right now, Nicholls is just able to advance their understanding. Simpson throws that off speed. It goes down in the zone. It will short hop the catcher. Guazda being heads up, that ball, as soon as it hit the dirt in front of Kay Stewart, taking advantage.
Heflin doubled off Estelle Check in the 4th inning. Sends one to left center. Caden Henry with the diving grab. That will score a run, but Texas's outfielders putting together Gold Glove worthy catches tonight in Austin.
Well, Heflin puts a charge in this one. Looks like it could be the left center gap, but Caden Henry straight horizontal to make that play. Big second out for Texas, but Nicholls does go ahead and score their 3rd run of the contest. Shows how important that wild pitch was to allow Guazda to advance from 2nd to 3rd.
It's beginning to become routine for Caden Henry. We're getting spoiled here. She's making now one great grab pretty much a game over the last month of the season. Saw it in their last series against Oklahoma, against Oklahoma State. She just continues to get better and better in center field.
Well, the one person on Texas staff that I don't think gets enough credit is Kristen Zaleski, and we've mentioned her relationship with Justin Lewis tonight and the fact that they were co-workers when she was the head coach at A&M Corpus. But she was a phenomenal outfielder herself, and I think these Texas outfielders have truly been able to learn from her and understand their first step, the quickness, the reads. You just see a little bit more aggressiveness out of them this year than you have prior to when she was on staff.
Moments ago, Aaron Krause put that one where nobody could get to it. So a 2-out single. Here's the cleanup hitter, Alexa Poche. Poche drove in a run with a single in the 4th inning. And a 2-0 count.
You have to tip your hat to Nicholls. They have really refocused after that first inning, giving up the 7th spot. And again, Justin Lewis saying, I just want us to focus on trying to win the rest of the game. And offensively, they really did make adjustments against Estelle Czech, swinging early in the count, able to score 2 runs on her in the 4th. And now here, mixing the patience as well as the aggressiveness when the ball is in the zone.
The 3-0 count here in the 5th inning.
An off-speed pitch floats in there just at the top of the zone.
Hitters count for Poche, swing and a miss.
Well, and if you're Poche, you know that off-speed pitch is coming. She hasn't been able to locate her hard stuff against you, so you're expecting it. A little over-aggressive there, chasing that one in the dirt, but
called strike 3. Nicholls scores.
Pinkerton's programs have always been able to hit, so Iowa State looking to come in and make some noise just like they did against the Cowgirls.
Great effort by Guazda, getting that one in her glove at short, but unable to do anything with it. Alyssa Washington, the leadoff hitter, is aboard. Washington's reached 3 times now.
Well, the senior captain leading off the 5th here with a little bit sense of urgency. Saw the first good pitch she saw, able to drive that hard up the middle. Set the table for the rest of this lineup.
Here's Katie Simmons. She first arrived on campus. None of the Longhorns knew how to pronounce her last name. Somebody asked Mary Iacopo which player is going to have a breakout year. She said, that one, Katie Simmons. I think Simmons is her last name. Janae Jefferson, no. They know her name now, but tonight, maybe not her night, going 0 for 3, but that's all right. Came in with 2 homers in the last 2 games. She gets ready for the Iowa State series, 1 away. Now with a runner over at first, Washington. And here's Caden Henry.
Well, the freshman who, fresh off being named one of the top 25 freshmen in the country in the running for that Freshman of the Year award.
They're saying it was a fair ball, but it hit the bat.
They're going to come out and have a conversation of this, but the question is if the ball hits the bat or the bat hits the ball. Once the bat is on the ground, I believe it's in play. It's live and in play if the ball hits it. But if the ball is on the ground and the bat hits it to move it, then it is a dead ball. I feel like I should know that a little bit.
They're both moving.
Better, but as you see, the ball goes into the bat, not the bat into the ball.
It's very deep thought. Sounds like a Buddhist saying. Does the ball go into the bat or does the bat go into the ball? Whatever it was, Henry is safe over at first. And here's Jolie Mitchell pinch hitting. That one misses from Molly Yo. Mitchell And putting up strong numbers in her first year with the Longhorns, hitting just under 370 on the season, 27 runs driven in. But platooning as of late with Katie Simmons over at first.
Well, the plus side of having Jolie Mitchell and Katie Simmons is Katie Simmons defensively more sound first baseman. She's more natural there. Texas likes being able to go to her late in games if they need to. But offensively, when one starts to cool off a little bit, they have the opportunity to use the other. That's why we see Katie Simmons with the start tonight. But have to imagine, too, right now, this switch might allow Bella Dayton to rest after a couple amazing plays and long runs out there in left field, because Mia Scott can always move to left field, and Jolie Mitchell can now play third.
Mitchell to right field, right at Anderson. Runners tag. There's a bit of hesitation there as Washington ends up on third. Back up to the top of the order, Ashton Maloney, who is 3 for 3 so far tonight with 3 singles. Average up to 440 on the season. And she's starting to climb into territory that's among the national leaders in batting average at this rate.
You see there, hitting 482 with runners in scoring position.
That's going to bring home Alyssa Washington. Ashton Maloney is now 4 for 4, but caught no.
Justin Lewis obviously would love to leave Texas with at least 2 out of 3, if not all 3, from San Antonio.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. I mean, they're not throwing their ace tonight. Audrey McNeil, team leader in ERA, is saving her for that huge conference series. It's obviously tough to compete against the #1 team in the nation without your best, but you get the reason why they're going that route. It makes sense.
We'll get to the point in season where you have to be able to start to play the long game and look at what's more important in a season conference series, excuse me. Way more important than this game here, but then at the same time, you need your pitchers to start to get some confidence too, so giving Payton an opportunity to go out. And you know, he even said, if we make a couple plays, that first inning's a little different. You probably leave there feeling a little different.
Over the last 4 innings, they're outscoring Texas 3-2. Abby Anderson with a couple of hits. In their last at bats in the top of the 5th inning, Poche struck out to end the inning. That's the only strikeout tonight by either team.
When Coach White hit on it with Estelle Check, she was being really efficient, attacking the strike zone early. She got a lot of outs early in counts, so didn't even really have positions to strike hitters out because they were popping quite a few balls up off of her.
Washington in position.
Center fielder,
Gabby Higbee coming up in the 6th spot for Nicholls. 3 runs off 5 hits so far for the Colonels. Texas outscoring their opponents by an average of just over 7-2 per contest.
Right now, Sophia Simpson trying to find her groove still. Only 1 of 7 for first pitch strikes. Complete opposite of how Estelle Check was pitching to Nicholls in her first 4 innings.
Swing and a miss. Fooled Higbee.
Well, there's that changeup that Sophia Simpson is known for. When she's able to land that in low in the zone, let it drop out a little bit, it is so hard for hitters to hit.
This one taken to left center. On the run is Caden Henry, making it look easy for out number 2. That outfield has been a pitcher's best friend tonight.
Well, as a pitcher, you love to have an outfield that can cover so much grass. A lot of times it's the pop-ups in the gap that you're holding your breath that they can get to. But right now, between Caden Henry and Bella Dayton, these line drives are being snagged left and right.
There's Molly Vandenbout tied for the team lead in home runs. She takes strike 1. We have a pinch hitter up in place of Vandenbout, Leyland Sturm, one of the 16 underclassmen on this team.
Great opportunity for Justin Lewis to get some more athletes in the game. Sturm pinch ran for Vandenbout in the 4th inning. Just left her in the game since it's a DP role, able to see what's going on. Does he need Vandenbout to swing? Does he have the opportunity to give her an at-bat and let her get an at-bat right now?
Now behind 1 and 2 for Texas, coming up into the bottom of the 6th inning. At the heart of the order, and a chance for Reese Atwood to potentially break a single season RBI record. There is a called strike.
Champion. If Oklahoma sweeps Oklahoma State, then obviously Oklahoma is the Big 12 champion with 1 less loss in Big 12 play than Texas.
Texas winning so many Big 12 titles throughout so many different sports in their last year in the conference. Longhorns softball hoping to do the same before heading to the SEC. Here's Mia Scott watching the count go 1-1 as we begin the bottom of the 6th inning. Texas put up 7 runs in the 1st and 1 apiece in the last 2 frames.
Well, the Colonel's been able to do something that not many teams can do, and that's keep Mia Scott off base for an entire ball game. Scott, one of the best run scorers for Texas.
Mia Scott takes one to left field. On the run is Heflin. And for Nicholls, not a bad night despite the score. They've scored as many runs as Kansas did in any of their 3 games against the Longhorns in the last series. Here comes Vivi Martinez. Strong night at the plate, 2 for 3 with 2 run-scoring doubles. She swings at the first pitch to left field. 2 away.
Well, 2 quick outs for Molly Yo here against Texas.
Which means 1 last chance for Reese Atwood to break this single season RBI record tonight.
Well, and I think it's pretty obvious, Alex, the only way she can do that right now is by leaving the yard. So would have to give herself also 1 up in that home run chase that she has.
Good to see her back in there after getting hit in the head in the 4th inning and replaced on the bases.
Head coach Justin Lewis, I believe, said, I take it she re-entered because home plate umpire had reported that re-entry to him.
Yo not messing around with Atwood behind 2-0. Well, I was wondering if she would get that 3-0 count that she's been asking for. Not this time.
No, but aggressive cut on a 2-0 count right there, just under it a bit. I thought you were going to reach for it and try to catch it.
Not a chance. There's 0 athleticism in this body as the count goes 3-1 to Atwood. That was a home run swing, but a miss.
That was a big swing right there by Reese Atwood, knowing she was in a hitter's count. Yo was going to have to come in with a pitch. This is her second full count, though, tonight. After talking about not going too deep in the count, she's working it tonight.
Making us look bad. There is a walk for Reese Atwood. 12th of the year with 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
Well, that pitch just missed outside. You saw Molly Yo. She thought she had a strikeout looking. She was getting ready to jump off the field. Instead, Reese Atwood on base for Katie Stewart again.
Pinch runner coming back in. Wallace replacing Atwood over at first base.
For the Horns now coming in right at first base, number 4, Wallace.
There comes Katie Stewart at the plate. 1 for 3. Had that big 3-run home run in the first inning. 13 extra base hits on the year in her first season in Burnt Orange. Stewart launches one to deep right field, nearly caught by Anderson, but she can't hang on. And Wallace will come around to score the 10th run of the night for Texas.
Well, Katie Stewart takes this pitch middle out and just drives it over the right fielder's head. Anderson, great chase, nice reach, but that just tips right off of her glove, almost snow cones that. Adea Wallace with her speed easily able to score from first.
Here's Alyssa Washington. She's reached 3 times tonight, a couple of singles, and was hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning.
Washington seeing the ball extremely well tonight, has hit both her singles up the middle, 1 to each side of the base.
Texas on the night, 15 hits. One and 2 now to Washington.
Well, and Katie Stewart, so important there at second base, getting all the way into scoring position on that double off the wall. If she scores this in this inning off of whether it's Alyssa Washington or Katie Simis, she would be the 11th run, making the run rule in effect.
What a night for Texas offense. We mentioned the 15 hits, obviously the 10 runs. No strikeouts at the plate. And 6 extra base hits.
Well, in the way they were hitting early in counts, good pitches. There's only 1 stolen base on the night as well.
I think that went into one of the boots. Oh, how about that SID? Chris Brown making the grab. There you go, Chris.
Well, do we have replay of that? I would like to see if he actually made a clean catch.
He's keeping it too. And playing it off smooth. No big deal. Washington with another opportunity. Winning run on its second. Count 1 and 2 with 2 away here in the 6th. Awash skies one to left field. Heflin is there. And here we go, 7th inning.
Well, the fact that you competed in the last 6 innings against the #1 team in the country gives you some energy and some confidence going into your weekend series, and that's what he wanted to see. He wanted them to have something to take away from this, and 3-3 since that first inning as far as runs scored, but the offensive approach by Nicholls has actually been very impressive to see them adjust to a stale check and then being able to scratch a couple runs across.
Strike one to pinch hitter Mackenzie Champagne, former walk-on who's done a tremendous job, one of the top hitters on the team this year, hitting .323. Bella Dayton had a terrific night. A couple of catches, maybe worthy of the Sports Center top 10 highlight.
Can you just package them all together and submit them as one?
Records the first out here in the 7th. Another pinch hitter due up for the Colonels. Cindy Sheldon, senior from Keller. Over the last 5.5 innings now, Nicholls at least equaled Texas in runs. 3-3 since the second. A swing and a miss there, 0-2.
Great job by Sophia Simpson to work ahead on the first pitch. For a drop ball down in the zone and then mix that with that off-speed pitch.
Chopped foul. So again, Texas will welcome Iowa State to town tomorrow night for the final Big 12 home series of the regular season. The Cyclones, by their own coach's admission, been an up and down team this year, but when they've been up, they beat some of the best in the nation, including Oklahoma State twice. That series gets underway tomorrow night. Here from McCombs Field, this one lifted to left center, and Caden Henry with another diving grab. She has been unreal all season long.
Well, this is a pitch up in the zone, and Shelton lifts it out into left center. Caden Henry just gets her glove on it. Not the smoothest slide we've seen from the Texas outfielders, and you see her take a second. She kind of knocked the breath out of her, but nonetheless able, to get under and retire that second out.
We're getting spoiled watching her in center do this game in and game out, and Henry and Dayton just elevating each other in center and left.
Well, you see on that one, she had to like reach across body. I think she landed on that glove shoulder a little bit hard. But who needs a glove shoulder as long as the glove's attached, right?
I think for a second, some fans were holding their breath because it looked like you couldn't tell whether she was down because of a possible injury or just, as you said, maybe not the ideal slide.
I think she thought she was coming around it, which is the right idea to keep it in front of you, but
special player, that one sent to left, and there it is, a 1-2-3 final inning as Texas takes down Nicholls